Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Bowie and I am part of the Solar Bears team. Today I will be presenting our bold design for shaping the future of New Mexico State University. The goal of the Solar District Cup highlights two critical elements for the PV plus storage system. One, maximum energy offset, and two, maximum financial savings. These elements are also reflected in NMSU's Sustainability Planning Initiative, which aims to achieve net zero emissions and incorporate more solar energy systems. While the objective is clear, it is important to consider how it translates to a design that aligns with the university's values. Since the key to any successful project is strong principles, my teammates and I began our design process by studying the NMSU's master plan. Outlined in the master plan are 5 areas in which the university aims to improve its performance as part of its Vision 2020 strategy. This effort inspired my team's approach to the Solar District Cup. And in the following slides, I will discuss how our design accomplishes each of these targets. First and foremost, our PV plus storage system features a 1.1 megawatt ground mount array and a storage system with a power capacity of 500 kilowatts. And an energy capacity of 1,000 kilowatt hours. These components are then connected to a grid-tied inverter. We purposely chose equipment based on their efficiency and durability for better performance during the 20-year PPA. The ground mount array consists of over 2,000 panels, which situate in the middle of the plot to avoid debris or any activity from the golf course on the left-hand side. The system is co-located in which the PV and storage exist on the same site. The storage and inverter are placed as far from the utility substation as possible in the upper right-hand corner there to protect the equipment from any damage. In addition, our system supports microgridding and smart inverter controls for enhanced resilience and reliability, the main focus for our design. So, our conceptual design targets the research and creative activity goal of Vision 2020. Our system specifically includes advanced technology to encourage innovation and promote unique research opportunities at NMSU. The site could serve as a lab for work on equipment degradation and microgrid operations, all hot topics in the renewable energy sector. The system is accessible not only to the NMSU community, but also to nearby engineering firms and laboratories to bring in more creative minds. So for the distribution and system impact analysis work, my team and I focused on meeting 2 requirements: no net metering and no voltage violations, specifically staying within the plus and minus 5% limits. These conditions are heavily influenced by the size of the system and its operation. Thus, our analysis begins with the campus's electrical network and power demand. Our base circuit model consists of 10 buildings for which we have accompanying loading profiles. We had to add 2 buses to include for 2 buildings that were not part of the original OpenDSS model. We also upgraded the substation transformer to support these added loads. The first image shows up here, the first one, shows that the average load for the circuit is almost 1 megawatt, while the maximum demand is about 1.7 megawatts and occurs on October 25th at 11 a.m. In 2014, NMSU published a plan to improve its electrical infrastructure, and with this report, we found that 5 out of the 10 buildings in our model are identified as critical to university operations and make up 60% of the average load. The electrical master plan also addresses reliability as a priority for NMSU's network. However, El Paso Electric reliability indices informed us that the campus experiences typical outages of 1.24 hours almost every year, which hinders this goal. Feeding all of our gathered data into Reop Lite and iterating through multiple scenarios, we arrived at our system sizes. Notice that the PV array matches the average yearly load of the campus. And in addition, the battery lasts at most 2 hours when discharging at its max rating, which is similar to the typical outage duration. The PV plus storage system follows two main operations: peak shaving, which helped decrease utility demand by 22%, And the top image illustrates this, with the PV serving the load in the red regions. The second operation is load shifting. The storage system is put to full use as it is able to charge to 100% during off-peak hours when utility rates are lower and discharge to its minimum state 20% during on-peak hours. The top image also shows this as indicated by the dotted line. The bottom image shows the system operation during a typical outage. The PV is large enough to support the critical loads with a little bit of help from the battery. A time series analysis via OpenDSS of the first year demonstrates that there is some excess power flow from the PV plus storage system. The left figure is a histogram of the power flow at the utility substation. The excess power is represented as a negative value at the bus and averages to about 50 kilowatts. However, the university is reported to purchase at least 5 megawatts from El Paso Electric, as illustrated by the right figure. Thus, this excess production can serve another building on the campus network and does not violate the no net metering policy. The distribution lines operate within the required bounds when our system is connected. Our system was able to reduce the number of voltage violations of the base case so that our voltage versus distance plots look like this one here, which is for one 15-minute interval. Among the Vision 2020 categories, our district impact analysis targets the academics and graduation area. Our PV plus storage system can power NMSU's unique academic functions, especially the critical ones, and our system connects to the distribution system without compromising reliability and safety. Our design offers amazing benefits at an amazing price. Our financial model achieves an NPV of $0 over the 20 years with a PPA price of 13.5 cents per kilowatt hour for the first year. While this rate is greater than the on-peak rate from the utility, our price includes more than just electricity, which is about 3% of the charge. We offer resilience, as I've mentioned before. We also account for residual value of the system since the PV array will produce power 10 years after the end of the PPA. In addition, there are pedagogical benefits of having access to our system. First of all, our financial model is an adopted version of NREL's CREST. And in this spreadsheet, we imported utility bill savings from REOP Lite, then divided it by the production to obtain a rate for the utility bill savings. Then the resilience premium is more of a complicated calculation because we used data from multiple sources. We calculated the avoided costs by multiplying a rate from the ICE calculator, the average peak critical load for 1.24 hours, and finally the survivability of our system, which came from REOP Lite. The residual value is based on the NPV of just the PV array's power production over 10 years, accounting for O&M expenses. And finally, the pedagogical premium is the remaining difference that is not covered by the other categories. It is important for me to note how the pedagogical premium is the greatest contributor, about 72% of the COE breakdown. And this is because our model highly undervalues the resilience premium. Our current model heavily relies on a numbers-based approach. The resilience premium is purely equal to the expenses the university would have incurred strictly during outages. However, a university with a resilient and reliable electrical infrastructure is worth much more. Our system supports NMSU's continuous stride to attract high caliber students, secure prestigious research grants, and be an integral institution of the city of Las Cruces to drive economic development. So how do we start developing this incredible project? Our development plan spans over 2 years. It begins with vigorous organization and coordination to complete the necessary inspections and draw the most optimized designs. The first 9 months consists of meeting with firms, investors, and local decision makers to ensure we don't miss important details. Our approach is to be completely transparent. We will establish a public relations team to post our schedules and run public forums to collect feedback. The second half of our development plan focuses on the technical details. We will We will have many engineers and experts from the city and the university to lead site preparations and installation. We will follow a tight schedule so that the deployment can begin as soon as possible. The fourth Vision 2020 goal, our design targets, is enhancing the community engagement of NMSU. Our project will bring together many people calling on NMSU's existing partnerships as well as creating new ones. Our project will strive to meet the needs of not just the university, but of the local community and the state, which also have strong sustainability goals. Next, I will elaborate on our optimization strategy. Re-up Light played a huge role in our optimization strategy, especially for sizing the system. We evaluated a series of different scenarios to design the most resilient yet appropriate system for NMSU. One of the first set of iterations we completed consists of changing the start times for the outages. The first table shows that at 11 a.m., there's enough irradiation to support a 1.1 megawatt array to serve the critical loads during the disruptions. Later in the day, the system essentially relies on a battery to achieve survivability. Another set of trials consists of fixing the size of the components and comparing their performances. The second table shows results from when the ground mount array and the battery energy were fixed. And at this time, I'd like to correct a typo in my slides. The first column is actually results for a 400 kilowatt system, and the third column is for a 600 kilowatt system. So it's just the first and third column are switched. Moving on, we varied the battery power rating to gauge the added benefits. A 500 kilowatt battery raises the system survivability to 98%, a very high value. And at 600 kilowatts, the increase in survivability is almost redundant and does not balance the added cost. Another demonstration of our optimization strategy involves our attention to detail. Another tool we use for this project is the ICE calculator, which was developed by another national lab, Lawrence Berkeley. To use this tool, we imported reliability index values specific to El Paso Electric, and we deemed that the medium and large commercial and industrial sector was the most appropriate for our client, NMSU. And from the results, we extracted the cost per unserved kilowatt hour as the most informative metric. So among all the values here, we only used this 48.71%, which we further, dollars, which we further analyzed or changed. But my teams and I worked very hard to make a thorough and accurate estimate of the value of the resilience. Last but not least, our design process embodies the fifth Vision 2020 goal, resource stewardship. In every step, we made sure to use the best tools, implement the best strategies, and reference multiple sources to construct the most effective and resilient PV plus storage system for NMSU. We also included value stacking, where our battery is trying to optimize the financial savings of the project for NMSU. We also, moving forward, we will be able to apply this design process to any district. And our attention to detail, focus on client values, and strong analytical skills will support our future endeavors as renewable energy systems engineers. And I'd like to thank my advisor, Rod Beresford, and my teammates. I would also like to acknowledge the competition organizers and partners for providing inspiration and guidance. Thank you, and I will accept any questions at this time.